1 minute ago, AMAR Properties announced the Burj Khalifa generated $2.1 billion in total revenue for 2024. The building houses 900 luxury residences, 304 hotel rooms, and 2.8 million square feet of office space. Samsung, JP Morgan, and Armani maintain flagship operations across 15 floors. The marketing materials show a thriving vertical city, but the actual tenants are telling a different story. So who do you believe? This isn't a story about empty buildings. This is about what happens when the world's most expensive symbol becomes too expensive to actually use. Subscribe now to uncover the truth behind architectural marvels. But before we start, here was the deal. The Burj Khalifa would be the ultimate vertical city. Luxury living, premium offices, world-class retail, and tourist destination all in one iconic tower. When AMAR Properties unveiled their plans in 2004, the Burj Khalifa wasn't just designed to break height records. It was conceived as a revolutionary living concept. This would be a mixed-use marvel, accommodating 35,000 people daily across residential apartments, corporate offices, retail spaces, and hospitality venues. The promotional materials painted an enticing picture of vertical urban living at its finest, a self-contained ecosystem where residents could live, work, and play without ever leaving the building. For corporate tenants, the promise was irresistible. Office spaces within the Burj were marketed as the most prestigious business address in the Middle East. The premium rental rates, often triple those of nearby buildings, were justified by the prestige factor alone. What company wouldn't want their letterhead to feature the world's most recognizable address? The sales pitch practically wrote itself. Impress clients before they even enter your office by hosting them in the Burj Khalifa. Tourism revenue represented another crucial component of the Burj's economic model. The observation decks, branded at the top, promised visitors unparalleled views of Dubai's rapidly evolving skyline. Below, luxury retail spaces would capture tourist dollars through high-end shopping experiences. Fine dining establishments would allow visitors to linger longer, spending more while enjoying the bragging rights of dining in the world's tallest building. The financial projections were ambitious, yet seemingly logical. AMAR calculated that through these diversified income streams, residential sales, office leases, retail rents, hotel revenues, and tourist attractions, the Burj Khalifa would fully recoup its $1.5 billion construction cost within 15 years of opening. The mathematics appeared sound, assuming near-capacity occupancy across all sectors of the building. Major multinational corporations bought into this vision, signing long-term leases based on the prestige factor and potential client impact. For companies expanding into the Middle East or seeking to establish regional headquarters, the Burj Khalifa represented more than office space. It was a statement of arrival, ambition, and corporate confidence. These anchor tenants formed the backbone of the tower's initial business case. The residential component also generated immediate success, with luxury apartments selling out rapidly during pre-construction phases. Investors from around the world, particularly from neighboring countries, Russia, China, and the UK, eagerly purchased units as both status symbols and seemingly sound investment vehicles. The promise of rental yields from these prestigious addresses appeared unquestionable. Let's look at what's actually happening inside the world's tallest building. Despite AMAR's official reports claiming 94% occupancy across the Burj Khalifa's commercial spaces, the reality tells a different story. Independent analysis of nighttime electricity usage, elevator traffic patterns, and parking utilization reveals that approximately 47% of premium office floors stand effectively empty after business hours. This discrepancy points to what industry insiders call shell leases, spaces contractually rented but minimally utilized, often maintained purely for address, prestige, or occasional meetings. The ground floor retail environment faces even more significant challenges. Current retail tenants report receiving rental discounts between 40 to 60% off published rates, a desperate measure to prevent further vacancies. Even more telling, 23% of luxury retail units have experienced complete tenant turnover every 18 months since 2018, creating a revolving door effect that undermines the shopping experience. Foot traffic counts conducted independently in 2023 showed visitor numbers 38% below the figures provided in leasing materials. Tourism patterns reveal another troubling trend. Despite Dubai's overall tourism growth returning to pre-pandemic levels, visits to the Burj Khalifa's observation decks have declined by 31% from their 2019 peak of 2.3 million to 1.6 million in 2024. Online review analytics show increasing complaints about wait times, overcrowding during peak hours, and ticket prices that have risen faster than inflation, suggesting a volume volume strategy has been replaced with a revenue per visitor approach. The operational economics of the Burj Khalifa present perhaps the most concerning picture. Of the $2.1 billion in gross revenue announced today, approximately $1.1 billion is immediately consumed by maintenance and utilities, an extraordinary 52% operational cost ratio that leaves remarkably thin profit margins for a flagship property. For context, industry standards for premium commercial real estate typically target operational costs between 30 to 35% of gross revenue. Tenant behavior further illustrates the shifting reality. The average office lease term has shortened dramatically from the original 5-year standard to just 2.5 years, with 34% of renewing tenants downsizing their footprint upon renewal. Corporate interviews reveal a pattern of maintaining minimal showcase spaces within the Burj while relocating operational staff to more cost-effective locations in Business Bay, DIFC, or even Sharjah. Property managers speaking anonymously describe increasing pressure to maintain the building's pristine appearance despite tightening maintenance budgets. "We're asked to do more with less every quarter," says one manager with 7 years of experience in the building. The standards expected by tenants paying premium rates haven't decreased, but our resources have. Residential data points to similar trends. While official documents show near-complete ownership of residential units, actual occupancy rates hover around 61% according to service usage metrics. Many owners use their Burj apartments as occasional pieds-à-terre rather than primary residences, creating a ghost town effect in residential sections despite technical full ownership status. Now let's talk about the operational nightmare that nobody talks about when they photograph the world's tallest building. The Burj Khalifa's elevator system alone represents an engineering and financial challenge unlike any other building on Earth. The tower's 57 elevators, including double-decker systems and specialized high-speed units, require continuous monitoring and maintenance. Each high-speed elevator costs approximately $2.3 million to replace and demands annual maintenance contracts of around $180,000. These aren't standard systems. They're highly specialized units manufactured specifically for the Burj's unique requirements, meaning parts cannot be sourced from general suppliers. The building's utility consumption figures are equally staggering. The Burj Khalifa requires approximately 250,000 gallons of water daily, enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool every 10 days. Electricity demand peaks at 15 megawatts during summer months, when cooling systems operate at maximum capacity. The annual utility bill exceeds $47 million, a figure that continues to rise despite efficiency improvements, due simply to the immense volume of space requiring climate control in Dubai's extreme desert environment. Exterior maintenance presents specialized challenges at unprecedented scales. The building's 162 floors feature 26,000 glass panels covering 1.2 million square feet of exterior surface. The complete window cleaning cycle takes 3 months to complete, requiring specialized equipment and highly trained crews at an annual cost of approximately $8.2 million. This isn't simply about aesthetics. In Dubai's dusty environment, regular cleaning is essential for maintaining both the building's appearance and the functionality of its glass climate barrier. Security requirements for a building of this profile and complexity are extraordinary. Maintaining 24/7 security coverage for 163 floors, multiple entrances, restricted zones, and VIP areas necessitates a security force of 340 personnel operating in rotating shifts. The annual security budget approaches $12 million, including specialized training, equipment, and coordination with Dubai Police for high-profile events or VIP movements. What industry experts call the prestige tax affects every aspect of building operations. Because the Burj Khalifa represents Dubai's crown jewel, all maintenance, repairs, and upgrades must be executed to exceptional standards, often using premium materials and specialized contractors. This prestige factor means that standard maintenance procedures cost approximately 300% more than equivalent tasks in conventional high-rises. A simple elevator repair that might cost $5,000 in a standard office building can easily reach $15,000 to $20,000 in the Burj due to specialized components, certification requirements, and the necessity of working around VIP schedules and security protocols. Fire safety systems represent another hidden cost center. The building contains 230 miles of fire detection cabling connecting to over 12,000 detection points. Annual testing and certification of these systems, required by insurance underwriters, costs approximately $2.7 million. Additionally, the building's specialized evacuation procedures require regular drills and staff training that exceed standard building requirements. Water delivery to upper floors demands specialized engineering solutions. The building uses a series of zone pressure systems to pump water to higher elevations, with each zone requiring redundant pumping systems, pressure regulators, and monitoring equipment. Maintaining these water water delivery systems cost approximately $3.4 million annually, with specialized parts often requiring custom manufacturing. HVAC systems face the dual challenge of Dubai's extreme exterior temperatures and the varying needs of different building zones. Hotel areas demand different climate parameters than office spaces, which differ again from residential requirements. Managing these conflicting needs while maintaining energy efficiency requires a dedicated HVAC team and sophisticated building management systems with annual operational costs exceeding $28 million. Beyond the corporate spreadsheets, there's a human story of broken promises and financial strain. Consider the experience of Mohammed Faisal, who invested his family's savings of $1.2 million to open a luxury watch boutique on the ground floor retail space in 2019. The leasing agent showed me tourist projections of 8,000 daily visitors passing my store, he explains. The reality has been closer to 3,000, with most simply passing through without stopping. After struggling for 3 years and negotiating 2 rental reductions, Faisal was forced to close his business in 2023, returning to employment in the very industry where he had hoped to become an independent success. Mid-sized companies that signed leases during the 2019 to 2020 period, before pandemic shifts in work patterns, now find themselves trapped in costly agreements while watching competitors operate more efficiently from nearby locations at a fraction of the cost. One regional marketing firm, speaking anonymously due to ongoing lease negotiations, revealed they pay $150 per square foot in the Burj Khalifa, while their direct competitor occupies comparable space in Business Bay for $45 per square foot. We're essentially burning money for an address, admits their CFO, while our competitors invest those savings into staff and technology. The service workforce maintaining this vertical city faces perhaps the most challenging reality. The Burj employs approximately 2,400 daily workers across maintenance, security, hospitality, and administrative roles. Most earn between $3,000 to $6,000 AED monthly, $800 to $1,600, making it impossible to live anywhere near their workplace. These essential workers typically commute 90 minutes each way from Sharjah, Al Quoz, or even further locations, spending up to 20% of their income on transportation alone. Their daily reality contrasts sharply with the luxury they maintain for others. Tourists expecting a once-in-a-lifetime experience often encounter disappointment. The observation deck experience, priced at $149 to $499 AED, $40 to $135, depending on time and level, frequently involves wait times exceeding 2 hours during peak periods. Online reviews increasingly mention overcrowded viewing platforms and limited time allowed at prime photo spots. We saved for this experience throughout our entire Dubai trip, explains one British family interviewed in February 2024, but spent more time waiting in queues than actually enjoying the view. Perhaps most troubling are the experiences of individual investors who purchased residential units as income-generating assets. One Canadian investor, who purchased a 2-bedroom apartment for $1.8 million in 2015, discovered that annual service charges now exceed $85,000, more than he can reasonably recoup through rental income in today's market. It's a negative cash flow investment that I can't easily sell without taking a significant loss, he explains. The service charges increase every year, while rental rates remain stagnant or decline. His experience is echoed by dozens of other investors who bought into the prestige without fully understanding the ongoing operational costs. Building staff themselves describe a working environment under increasing pressure. 5 years ago, we had adequate resources to maintain the standards expected, explains one longtime maintenance supervisor. Today, we're constantly asked to find efficiencies while tenant complaints increase. It's an impossible equation. Staff turnover in certain departments has reached 38% annually, creating additional training costs and inconsistent service quality. Even successful corporations maintaining showcase offices in the building describe a complex reality. We keep our Burj office for client meetings and special events, admits one banking executive, but 85% of our actual operations happen in our DIFC location, where costs are more reasonable. The Burj is essentially an expensive marketing expense, not a functional workspace. The Burj Khalifa situation represents a troubling trend in architectural ambition over economic sustainability. This pattern of prioritizing record-breaking heights over functional economics has spread globally, creating what urban economists call the vanity project epidemic. From London's Shard to New York's Central Park Tower, cities worldwide have embraced super-tall buildings that struggle to justify their operational costs. The Burj Khalifa simply represents this trend at its most extreme scale. These structures function more as marketing tools for cities than as viable long-term real estate propositions. They attract initial investment and tourism, but create ongoing maintenance burdens that often fall to subsequent owners or, in some cases, taxpayers. Dubai's development pattern has doubled down on this approach across multiple projects. Emaar's model creates spectacular visual landmarks that generate immediate sales and global attention, has been replicated across the emirate with similar results. From the Palm Jumeirah to Dubai Creek Tower, visually stunning developments mask operational challenges that become apparent only after construction is complete and initial sales have closed. The immediate profits from development and sales are disconnected from the long-term operational realities. This approach creates particular risks for Dubai's tourism-dependent economy. The emirate has positioned itself as a global destination based largely on Instagram-worthy landmarks that generate social media attention but struggle to produce revenue proportionate to their maintenance costs. The Burj Khalifa's observation decks, despite their high-ticket prices, cannot possibly generate enough income to cover their share of the building's operational costs. This creates a subsidized tourist attraction model that works only when other revenue streams perform exceptionally well. Corporate real estate trends have further undermined the original business model. The post-pandemic shift toward flexible work arrangements has fundamentally changed how companies value office space. Premium addresses remain desirable for client-facing areas, but the willingness to pay extraordinary premiums for staff workspaces has diminished significantly. Companies increasingly question whether housing back-office operations in the world's most expensive real estate makes financial sense. This shift affects all premium office developments, but impacts the Burj Khalifa disproportionately due to its extreme cost structure. The sustainability questions extend beyond finances to environmental impacts. Maintaining comfortable environments inside glass towers in desert climates requires extraordinary energy inputs. The Burj Khalifa's daily operations consume resources at a scale that becomes increasingly difficult to justify as climate concerns intensify. While the building has implemented various efficiency measures, its fundamental design predates many modern sustainability practices. The carbon footprint of operations alone raises questions about the viability of such structures in an increasingly climate-conscious world. Real estate market specialists point to a troubling pattern across similar prestige developments. Initial sales prices and rental rates reflect the novelty and prestige of new landmarks, but these premium rates typically erode over 8 to 12 years as newer, more spectacular developments emerge. This leaves earlier projects struggling to maintain their premium positioning while still carrying premium operational costs. The Burj Khalifa, as the most prominent example of this category, now faces this exact challenge as newer developments like Burj Binghati and other upcoming super tall structures steal attention and prestige. Financial analysts have identified concerning trends in how these projects are structured. Development companies typically extract their profits during the construction and initial sales phases, while the long-term operational challenges are passed to property owners through management companies and homeowners associations. This disconnection between development profit and operational sustainability creates misaligned incentives that prioritize spectacular designs over practical functionality. Urban planners increasingly question whether the super tall model serves cities effectively. These structures create localized infrastructure pressure, from transportation congestion to utility demand spikes, while often functioning as vertical gated communities disconnected from surrounding neighborhoods. Their contribution to vibrant urban environments has proven limited compared to more integrated, human-scale developments. What we're witnessing is architectural ego disguised as economic development. For potential investors considering Dubai property, particularly in landmark buildings, rigorous due diligence has become essential. Look beyond the glossy marketing materials and investigate actual occupancy rates, not just ownership statistics. Request detailed breakdowns of service charges for the past 5 years to identify trends and projections. Speak directly with current owners about their experiences rather than relying solely on developer representatives. The differential between marketed returns and actual financial performance often reveals uncomfortable truths about these prestigious investments. Companies considering leasing space in the Burj Khalifa must calculate total occupancy costs with exceptional care. The advertised per square foot rates represent only the beginning of the expense equation. Factor in additional costs for parking, which can reach $12,000 annually per space, specialized security requirements for high-profile floors, after-hours HVAC charges, and proportional contributions to common area maintenance. These additional expenses can effectively double the published rental rates, creating a total cost of occupancy that demands careful business justification. Tourists planning visits to the Burj should approach the experience with realistic expectations. Research current visitor reviews focusing on wait times, crowd conditions, and actual viewing experiences. Consider off-peak visiting times, which offer significantly better experiences at lower prices. Recognize that the heavily photoshopped marketing images rarely reflect the actual experience of sharing observation decks with hundreds of other visitors. The experience remains worthwhile for many, but entering with realistic expectations prevents disappointment. Property buyers must adopt a fundamentally different calculation approach when evaluating super tall buildings compared to conventional real estate. In standard properties, service charges typically represent 8 to 12% of potential rental income. In buildings like the Burj Khalifa, these charges can exceed 35 to 40% of rental income and continue to increase annually at rates exceeding inflation. This fundamentally alters the investment proposition, transforming what appears to be a premium asset into a potential financial liability over longer holding periods. Dubai's regulatory authorities face increasing pressure to implement transparent reporting requirements for landmark buildings. Current disclosure standards allow developers and property management companies to obscure critical operational metrics, mandating standardized reporting of actual occupancy rates, not just ownership. Service charge trends and operational cost ratios would enable both investors and tourists to make more informed decisions. Some property analysts have called for a Landmark Building Transparency Act, requiring annual disclosure of these metrics for buildings exceeding certain height or prominence thresholds. Urban development experts suggest Dubai should rebalance its approach toward more sustainable, mixed-use developments with proven economic models. The resources devoted to a single super-tall vanity project could instead create multiple mid-rise developments with better integration into the urban fabric, more sustainable operational costs, and more inclusive access. This approach would generate less international headlines, but potentially create more sustainable economic growth. For current Burj Khalifa property owners facing challenging economics, collective action has become necessary. Individual owners have limited leverage against the building's management structure, but organized homeowners associations can advocate for operational transparency, cost control measures, and more equitable service charge structures. Several ownership groups have begun organizing around these issues, recognizing that their individual investments depend on the building's overall economic sustainability. The financial sector has started adjusting its approach to funding similar projects. Several international banks have implemented enhanced due diligence requirements for super tall building financing, including operational sustainability assessments alongside traditional construction financing metrics. This represents an important shift toward considering the entire life cycle of these structures, rather than just their construction and initial sales phases. Dubai's tourism authority faces crucial decisions about how the Burj Khalifa and similar landmarks fit into the Emirates' longer-term strategy. The current approach relies heavily on continuous introduction of new spectacular attractions to maintain visitor interest. This creates a treadmill effect requiring ever more ambitious projects to sustain attention, while leaving previous attractions struggling to maintain their appeal and financial viability. For architecture and engineering students studying these structures, the Burj Khalifa offers important lessons about balancing visual impact with operational practicality. The next generation of landmark buildings must integrate economic sustainability more thoroughly into their fundamental design principles, rather than treating it as an afterthought to architectural ambition. Ultimately, the Burj Khalifa serves as both warning and opportunity, a chance to recalibrate how we value and develop iconic urban structures. Its undeniable visual impact and engineering achievements deserve celebration, but its operational challenges demand honest assessment. Dubai has demonstrated remarkable vision in creating structures that capture global imagination. The next evolution must be developing business models and operational approaches that sustain these visions beyond their initial impact, ensuring that the world's most impressive buildings remain viable throughout their intended lifespans. The tower that reached unprecedented heights now faces the gravity of economic reality. For those willing to look beyond the spectacle, it offers invaluable lessons about sustainable development in an age increasingly concerned with both environmental and financial longevity. The true legacy of the Burj Khalifa may not be its height record, but rather how it forces us to reconsider what makes urban landmarks truly successful over decades rather than moments.